Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about something that I hear about almost every single day in my practice, and I mean that literally from young professionals in their 30s, from busy parents in their 40s and 50s, from retirees. It cuts across every age group, every lifestyle, every background. Here's the scenario. You wake up in the morning, you've had what you thought was a full night's sleep, maybe 7, maybe 8 hours, but when your alarm goes off, you don't feel rested, you don't feel refreshed. You feel like you just spent the night hauling bags of cement. Your body is heavy, your head is foggy, and honestly, you feel worse than when you went to bed. Have you ever felt like this? I'm guessing a lot of you are nodding right now. Now, logically, morning should be the time when you feel most refreshed. Your body has had hours to rest and recover. Your energy should be coming up like the sunrise. Your mind should be clear like mountain spring water, crisp, clean, vibrant. That's the ideal, right? That's what we're all aiming for, what we all expect when we set that alarm the night before. But for so many people I see in my clinic, that is not the reality. Instead, opening your eyes in the morning feels less like a fresh start and more like the beginning of a battle with your own body, a battle against this overwhelming sense of heaviness that seems to press you down into the mattress. And here's the first clue. Many of my patients tell me that the very first thing they notice, even before they fully wake up, even before they open their eyes all the way, is their mouth. Not just a dry mouth, not just bad breath. It's this specific, uncomfortable, almost suffocating, sticky, filmy feeling. Like your entire tongue and the roof of your mouth and the inside of your cheeks are coated with something thick and greasy. Like moss growing on an old wall in the shade, or like solidified bacon grease that just won't wash off no matter how hard you scrub. You brush your teeth, you use mouthwash, you scrape your tongue, you might even brush again, and 5 minutes later, that's sticky, unclean. Uncomfortable feeling is right back. It's persistent, it's frustrating, and it is not normal. Here's what I want you to understand. This is not just heat in your system. It's not just poor oral hygiene. It's not just what you ate for dinner last night. This is actually your body sending you a very clear, very early morning signal. It's telling you that something is off internally, that the environment inside your body is no longer clear and clean. It's becoming murky, cloudy, heavy, stagnant. That uncomfortable feeling in your mouth is the first sign that your internal environment has shifted. For some of you, that uncomfortable feeling doesn't stop at your mouth. It spreads to your entire body, your arms, your legs, your back, your shoulders. They all feel unusually heavy, like someone snuck into your room overnight and piled several soaking wet blankets on top of you without you noticing. Not the kind of heavy you feel when you're just sleepy. That's a different sensation. This is physical. It feels like you're carrying extra weight that isn't there, like you're wearing a lead vest. Have you ever had that sensation where you feel like you're walking through waist-deep water? Every movement takes effort. Every step feels like you're pushing against resistance. Your muscles protest. That's exactly what this feels like. Your muscles feel like they're filled with lead or sand. Your head, which should be the clearest, lightest, most alert part of you, feels wrapped in a cold, damp towel, or like you're wearing a thick wool cap that's been soaked through with cold water and then put on your head. This actually has a name in traditional medicine. It's described as the head being wrapped. And it's one of the most classic signs of what we call internal dampness. It's not a metaphor. It's a physical sensation that patients describe over and over again in exactly the same way. When you're in this state, your brain feels like it's moving through molasses. Thinking is slow, reacting takes effort, making decisions feels like work. You don't feel like doing anything. Not even things you normally enjoy, that weekend hike you were looking forward to. No thanks, your favorite TV show that you've been waiting all week to watch. Meh, you don't have the energy. Even comfort food, the pizza, the ice cream, the things that usually make you feel better doesn't appeal to you. All you want to do is stay in bed and let that heavy, sticky, sluggish feeling swallow you whole. But here's where it gets really confusing, and I hear this every single week from my patients. Despite all that heaviness, all that stickiness, all that waterlogged feeling, you're also incredibly thirsty. Your mouth is dry, your throat is parched. It feels like you've been walking through the desert, so you get up, you pour yourself a tall glass of water, and you drink it. You think, okay, that should help. That's what I need. But it doesn't. So you drink another glass and another, maybe you have a third glass. Your stomach is actually sloshing with water. You can hear it when you walk, that watery, gurgling sound. You feel full, you feel bloated, but your throat's still dry, still scratchy, still burning, like you haven't had a drop all day, like you're dehydrated on the inside, even though you're overflowing on the outside. What is going on here? How can you be so full of water and yet so dehydrated at the same time? It doesn't make sense on the surface. Well, here's the thing: that water you're drinking, it's not going where it needs to go. It's not being absorbed properly. Instead of turning into the kind of moisture that actually hydrates your tissues, that nourishes your cells, that quenches that deep thirst, it's just passing right through you. It's like pouring water into a pipe that's already clogged with mud and debris. The water doesn't reach the end of the pipe. It doesn't reach the garden that needs watering. It just sits in the pipe, or it leaks out the sides. You're drinking, but you're not hydrating. And if you talk a lot during the day, maybe you're on the phone for work, or you're a teacher, or you're a parent chasing after young kids, or you're a salesperson, or you're just someone who talks with their hands and their voice. Your voice gives out. It gets hoarse, low, rough, like Thier's glue on your vocal cords. You have to clear your throat constantly, but it never really clears. You sound like you've been shouting at a football game, even though you've been sitting quietly at your desk. So, what happens next? You get concerned naturally. So, you make an appointment with your doctor. You go in, you wait in the waiting room, you fill out the forms, you get called back. The doctor looks in your throat with that little light and tongue depressor. They feel your neck. They ask you questions. They see some redness, some swelling, maybe some irritation in the back of your throat. And the diagnosis comes back: chronic pharyngitis, or maybe tonsillitis, or acid reflux, depending on your specific symptoms. And then you get a prescription, maybe an anti-inflammatory like ibuprofen or something stronger, maybe an antibiotic if they think there's a bacterial component, maybe something to reduce stomach acid like a proton pump inhibitor. You pick it up at the pharmacy. You might even use your insurance copay, which is nice. You go home and you take it, and you know what? For a little while, it does feel better. The redness goes down, the swelling subsides, the pain eases. You think, finally, this is going to be the answer. I'm going to get better now. But then, and this is the part that drives people absolutely crazy, a few days after you finish the medication, or sometimes even while you're still taking it, the symptoms come back: that sticky feeling in your mouth, that heaviness in your body, that dry, scratchy, burning throat. It all returns like clockwork. Sometimes it's even worse than before. Sometimes it feels like you never took anything at all. So you go back to the doctor, you get another prescription, you take it, it helps temporarily. Then it comes back again and again and again. It's like a never ending cycle. Pretty soon you're stuck in this endless loop: inflammation, medication, flare up pill. Flare up pill. It's exhausting, it's discouraging, it's demoralizing, and after a while it can make you feel like nothing will ever work, like you're going to have to live with this forever, like you're broken, like there's something wrong with you that modern medicine just can't fix. I want to tell you something important: please don't give up hope. Please don't think this is something you just have to live with. Please don't accept that this is your new normal, because it's not. What I'd like to do is take a step back with you. Let's look at this from a different angle, not just focusing on the throat, not just treating the inflammation, but looking at the whole person, looking at your whole body, your whole lifestyle, your whole internal environment. Because when we do that, a very different picture starts to emerge. A picture that makes sense of all these confusing, frustrating symptoms. Why does this throat problem keep coming back? Why do these powerful medications, which work so well for acute infections, for strep throat, for bacterial sinusitis, seem to fail us here? Why do they provide only temporary relief? The answer is that your throat is not the real problem. Your throat is the messenger. It's the warning light on your dashboard. It's the smoke detector that goes off when there's a fire somewhere else in the house. It's the victim here, not the villain. It's taking the blame for something that's happening much deeper inside your body. Your throat is actually doing its job. It's alerting you that something is wrong. It's not the thing that's wrong. So if the throat isn't the real issue, what is in traditional medical thinking? We point to one main culprit, and that culprit is dampness. Now, I know that word dampness might sound vague or even a little strange. It might sound like something from an old book, not something that belongs in a modern medical conversation. But I promise you, it's not some abstract concept. It's not mystical. It's something very real, very physical, and very measurable. And once you understand it, a whole lot of confusing symptoms start to make sense. Let me give you an example. Think about a hot, humid summer day. Maybe you've been to Florida in July, or you've experienced a Midwest heat wave, or you've been to the Gulf Coast in August. The air is thick. There's moisture everywhere. Your clothes stick to your skin, your hair frizzes. You can't get comfortable no matter what you do. The walls in your house might even sweat, actual water droplets running down the paint. Laundry takes forever to dry. Sometimes it even starts to smell musty. Food goes bad faster. Mold starts growing in corners. in the bathroom, in the basement, everything feels damp and heavy. That's external dampness, and you can feel it, right? You feel sluggish, you feel sticky, you feel like you're carrying extra weight just from the air around you. Your breathing feels heavier, your whole body just feels clogged, stuffed, uncomfortable in your own skin. Now imagine that same exact feeling, but coming from inside your body. That's what we call internal dampness. It's the accumulation of metabolic waste and excess fluid that your body hasn't been able to process and eliminate properly. It's your internal environment becoming like that hot, humid, sticky day. Normally, when you drink water and eat food, it flows through your system like a clean river. It hydrates your cells, carries nutrients, and then leaves through sweat or urine. There's a beautiful, smooth flow. But when that flow gets disrupted, when the water gets stuck, when the system slows down, when things stop moving, the fluid stagnates, it becomes murky, it becomes sludgy, it becomes dampness. And that dampness doesn't just sit there harmlessly, it affects everything. And this internal dampness has four very specific characteristics. These four traits explain every single symptom we've been talking about today. Every one of them, characteristic number one: heaviness and turbidity. Dampness is heavy, it has weight, it's dense, it pulls things down. That's why people with excess dampness feel so physically weighed down. Your head feels heavy, like it's too much for your neck to hold up. Your limbs feel heavy, like you're carrying sandbags. Your whole body feels like it's being pulled toward the ground. Waking up is a struggle because you feel like you're glued to the mattress. You have to peel yourself out of bed. And then there's the turbidity. That means dirty, unclean, cloudy, murky. Dampness isn't clean water. It's water mixed with waste products, metabolic debris, things that should have been eliminated but weren't. So when dampness is present, you see it in your secretions: excessive eye discharge that crusts over overnight, oily skin that gets shiny within hours of washing, greasy hair that needs washing every single day. And that sticky film in your mouth that we talked about, that's turbidity rising upward down below. You might notice that your stool is sticky and hard to flush. It leaves marks on the toilet bowl. Your urine might be cloudy or have a strong odor. All of these are signs of that heavy, turbid quality. It's literally your body trying to get rid of this excess dampness through any avenue it can. Characteristic number two: stickiness and stagnation. Dampness is sticky. It clings to things. It doesn't let go easily. Think about trying to wash oil off your hands without soap. It takes forever. And even then, there's a residue. Think about molasses or honey. They stick to everything. That's what dampness does inside your body. It lingers, it hangs around, it doesn't move on. It can last for weeks, months, even years. This is exactly why that throat problem drags on for so long. It's not like a common cold that comes and goes in a few days. It's not like a sinus infection that clears up with antibiotics. Dampness is stubborn. It's like chewing gum that got stuck in your hair. You can't just shake it off. You can't just wash it away. You have to address it at the root, and that takes time and patience. Characteristic number three: it blocks the flow of energy and fluids. Your body runs on movement. Fluids move, nutrients move, waste moves, blood moves, lymph moves. All of that is driven by internal energy, what we call chi. You can think of chi like the wind. It's the force that pushes things along, that keeps things circulating. But when dampness is present, it's like a thick fog. The wind can't blow, everything slows down or stops. The traffic jam gets worse and worse until nothing is moving at all. Your internal highway is blocked. This is the most important piece of the puzzle, in my opinion, because when that flow is blocked, the good, clean fluids can't rise up to your throat. The nourishment can't get to where it's needed. The moisture can't reach the tissues that are crying out for it. That's why your throat and mouth can be so dry even though you're drinking plenty of water. The water is there, but it's stuck. It's not being transformed into the kind of moisture that actually hydrates your tissues. It's like a broken water fountain. The water is in the pipes, but it's not coming out of the spout. Characteristic number four: it weakens your internal warmth. Dampness is a cold, heavy, yin-type condition. It has a cooling effect on your body. Think of it like clouds blocking the sun on a chilly day. When the sun is blocked, things don't dry out. They stay wet and cold. Nothing warms up. In your body, that means your metabolic fire, your internal engine gets weaker. You might feel chilly even when others are comfortable. Your hands and feet might be cold. You might be more prone to catching colds and flus. Your digestion might slow down. Your energy might lag. And here's a trap I see people fall into all the time. When they take cooling, bitter herbs or strong anti-inflammatories for their throat, they're actually making the underlying dampness worse. because those medications cool the body even further. They chill that internal fire. The sun gets more blocked. The dampness gets more entrenched. It's a vicious cycle that feeds on itself. So now let's bring this all together. When you look past the red, irritated throat, when you stop focusing just on that one symptom, what you're really seeing is a body that's dealing with excess dampness, that morning mouth stickiness. That's dampness and turbidity rising upward. That heavy body and foggy head, that's dampness weighing you down. That dry throat that doesn't respond to water. That's dampness blocking the flow of good fluids to the upper body. That hoarse voice, that's dampness affecting your vocal cords. And that chronic recurring pattern, the inflammation remission cycle. That's because you've been treating the surface inflammation without ever addressing the internal damp environment. You've been turning off the smoke alarm without putting out the fire. That's the beauty of looking at the whole person instead of just the symptom. You're not treating a single point. You're not just putting out a little fire. You're looking at the whole climate, the whole ecosystem inside your body. You're asking, why is this fire starting in the first place? What's making the environment so flammable? You're going to the source. Okay, so if dampness is the culprit, the next question is obvious. Where does it come from? Where does this dampness originate in the vast majority of cases? The root is in your digestive system, and I want to be really clear about what I mean by that. Now, when I say digestive system, I'm not just talking about your stomach or your intestines. I am not just talking about the anatomy you'd see in a textbook, in traditional medicine. The spleen and stomach system refers to the entire network that processes everything you eat and drink. It's your internal water pump and your nutrient delivery system rolled into one. It's the factory that turns raw materials, food and water, into usable energy and usable fluids for your body. Its job is to take everything you eat and drink, the water, the nutrients, the proteins, the fats, the carbohydrates, the vitamins, the minerals, and transform it into usable energy and usable fluids. The good stuff gets sent upward and outward to nourish your organs, your skin, your muscles, your throat, your eyes, your brain. The waste, the stuff you don't need, gets sent downward and eliminated through your bowels and your kidneys. So this system is crucial. Without it working properly, nothing else works properly. It's like the foundation of a house. If the foundation is cracked, everything built on top of it is going to be unstable. But here's the problem. Modern life is full of habits that absolutely wreck this system, and I see it every single day in my practice. It's not just one thing, it's a combination of things that we do every day without thinking. Let me give you some examples first. Cold drinks. I know it feels great to come in from a hot day or after a workout or just on a warm afternoon and grab an ice cold soda or a giant iced coffee or a frozen smoothie. I get it. It's refreshing. It's satisfying. It's become a habit for so many of us. But here's what's happening inside your body. Your digestive system prefers warmth. It's like a little engine that runs best at a certain temperature. It likes a warm, cozy, comfortable environment. When you pour a 32-ounce ice cold drink into that warm environment, it's like throwing a bucket of ice water onto a small campfire. The fire doesn't go out completely, but it flickers, it weakens, it struggles. Do that once, and the fire recovers. Do that every day, maybe multiple times a day, and that fire gets smaller and smaller. It becomes a flame that barely flickers. Your digestive power declines. And when your digestive power declines, fluids don't get processed properly. They stagnate, they pool, they become dampness. Second, sugary and greasy foods. I'm talking about pastries, cakes, cookies, donuts, bubble tea, soda, fried chicken, French fries, onion rings, heavy cream sauces, cheese sauces, pizza with extra cheese, burgers with bacon and cheese. Milkshakes, all the things that are delicious and that we all love, and I'm not here to tell you never to eat them. That's not realistic, and I'm not your food police, but the reality is these foods are very difficult to digest. They take a lot of energy to break down. They leave residue, they create sludge, they clog up the system. It's like asking a worker to lift a 100-pound box all day long, every day, without a break. Eventually, that worker gets tired. Eventually, they can't lift the boxes anymore. They get worn out. And when your digestive system gets worn out, it stops processing fluids efficiently. That leads to dampness. The residue from those heavy foods doesn't just disappear. It builds up. It becomes the dampness. Third, overeating and eating too late. Your digestive system needs time to work. It's not a machine that can run without rest. If you're eating large meals late at night, or snacking constantly throughout the day without giving your system a break. You're not giving your system time to rest and recover. It's like a factory running with no maintenance. Eventually, things break down, the machinery gets clogged, the efficiency drops, and when that happens, dampness builds up. You're not allowing your body to fully process what you've eaten before you add more to the pile. Now, I want to focus on one specific time of day, the morning, because I think this is a really critical moment that a lot of people overlook. Morning is when your digestive system is just waking up. It's been resting all night. Your body's internal fire is small. It's like a candle that just got lit. It's delicate, it's easily extinguished. It needs gentle warmth and gentle care to grow and build momentum for the day ahead. But so many people start their day with a large iced coffee from Starbucks or Dunkin', or a cold smoothie made with frozen fruit and cold milk, or a glass of cold orange juice straight from the fridge, or a cold cereal with cold milk. And that cold blast first thing in the morning, that is like dousing that tiny candle flame with a fire hose. It extinguishes the fire before it has a chance to grow. It shocks your digestive system. It stops the warming process before it can even start. Your digestive power takes a huge hit first thing in the morning, and that sets the tone for the rest of the day. Your digestive system never really gets going. It stays slow and sluggish all day long. If you do this once in a while, your body can compensate. It has reserves. It can bounce back. But if you do it every day, and so many of us do, it's become a habit, it's become a routine. That digestive fire never really gets going, and dampness accumulates. It builds up day by day, week by week, month by month, and eventually you start feeling those symptoms we've been talking about. So what should you eat in the morning? Instead, I recommend warm. Soft, easily digestible foods. Think warm oatmeal, not instant oatmeal with all the sugar, but real rolled oats cooked on the stove with a little bit of water or warm milk. Think congee, a warm rice porridge that's gentle on the stomach. Think a simple broth. Chicken or vegetable broth that's warm and soothing. Think a warm grain like millet or quinoa. Think a root vegetable like sweet potato or butternut squash, roasted or steamed until soft and warm. These foods are gentle on your digestive system. They provide steady energy without overwhelming your system. They help that small fire grow into a warm, steady flame that can sustain you through the day. They don't shock your system. They don't put out the fire. They nurture it if you want something really simple. Even just a cup of warm water with a slice of lemon first thing in the morning is better than a cold drink. It's gentle, it's warming, it supports your digestion without overwhelming it. Now let's talk about movement, because this is another huge piece of the puzzle that people often overlook. There's an old saying in traditional medicine: sitting too much harms your muscles. And in that system, the muscles are closely tied to your digestive system. They're connected, they're not separate systems. When your muscles are strong and well nourished, your digestion tends to be strong. And when you move your muscles, you actually stimulate your digestion. Movement wakes up your digestive system, it gets things flowing. But what does modern life look like for most of us? Let's be honest, we sit in the car on the way to work, we sit at a desk for 8 or 9 hours staring at a computer screen, we sit in meetings, we sit at lunch, we sit on the couch at night watching TV or scrolling on our phones. We sit on the train or the bus, we sit in restaurants. Sitting has become our default position. We've become a society of sitters, and when you sit for hours at a time, your muscles get compressed, your circulation slows down, your lymphatic system, which depends on muscle movement to pump fluid, slows down. That internal flow that we talked about, it stagnates, it slows to a crawl, and when it stagnates, dampness accumulates, it settles in the lower parts of your body, it pools in your legs and your pelvis and your lower abdomen. I'm not telling you to run a marathon. I'm not telling you to become a CrossFit athlete. I'm not telling you to spend 2 hours at the gym every day. What I am telling you is that you need to move regularly throughout the day. Every hour or even every 45 minutes, get up from your chair, walk around for 2 or 3 minutes, do some light stretching, roll your shoulders, shake out your arms and legs. Do some gentle squats, march in place, just get your blood moving. Do that consistently and you'll notice a difference. Your body will feel less stiff. Your energy will be better. Your digestion will be better. If you can, take a walk every day. Even 10 or 15 minutes makes a difference. Walking activates your leg muscles. And your leg muscles are the largest muscle group in your body. When they move, they act like a second heart, pumping blood and fluids back up toward your upper body. This helps keep things flowing and prevent stagnation. It's one of the most effective things you can do for your overall health. And there's another benefit to movement. It generates internal warmth. When you move, you create heat, your body temperature rises, your blood flows faster, and heat helps evaporate dampness. Think of it like the sun coming out after a rainy day. The warmth dries things up. Your body works the same way. Movement warms you up from the inside, and that warmth evaporates the dampness. Now let's talk about the third major factor, your emotions. And this is something that I think a lot of people don't pay enough attention to. I can't tell you how many of my patients come to me with digestive issues and stress-related symptoms. They're overwhelmed, they're anxious, they're worried about work, about money, about their kids, about their aging parents, about the news, about the future. Their minds are running at 100 miles an hour all day long, and sometimes even at night. And when your mind is that active, that busy, that stressed, your body is paying a price, a real physical measurable price. There's a very real connection between your mental state and your digestion. It's not imaginary. It's not just in your head. You've experienced this yourself. When you're anxious or worried about something, you might lose your appetite. Food doesn't appeal to you, or you might finish a meal and feel bloated and uncomfortable even though you didn't eat much, or you might get a stomach ache before a big presentation or a difficult conversation. That's not your imagination. That's a physical reaction. Your brain and your digestive system are in constant direct communication. They share nerve pathways, they share chemical messengers. When you're stressed, your body diverts energy and blood flow away from your digestive organs and toward your muscles and your brain. That's a survival response. It's the fight or flight response. It's designed to help you run away from a tiger or fight off an attacker, but in modern life, we're not running from tigers. We're stressed about emails, we're stressed about deadlines, we're stressed about our children's report cards, and that stress response is triggered all day long, day after day, week after week. So our digestive system is constantly under-resourced. It's constantly being deprioritized. It never gets the full energy and blood flow it needs to do its job properly. Over time, that leads to weakness, stagnation, and dampness. It's a direct cause of the internal environment we've been describing. So what can you do about it? First, recognize that your emotions matter. They're not separate from your physical health. They're deeply fundamentally connected. You can't separate your digestion from your stress levels. They're one system. Second, give yourself permission to take breaks. When you feel that knot in your stomach or when you realize you've been worrying for hours, step away, close your eyes, take 5 deep, slow, intentional breaths. Not quick. Shallow chest breaths, deep belly breaths, breathe in through your nose, counting to 4, and out through your mouth, counting to 6. Let your shoulders drop, let your jaw relax, let your hands unclench. Just for a few minutes, you can also try listening to music that calms you, or going for a short walk without your phone, or spending a few minutes doing nothing at all, just being still, just sitting quietly, letting your mind rest, letting your thoughts settle like snow in a snow globe. I know that sounds simple, and honestly, it is simple, but it's not always easy. It takes practice, it takes intention, it takes making it a priority, but the payoff is real. When you reduce your mental load, your digestive system can do its job more effectively. It can process food and fluids. It can eliminate waste. It can keep you healthy. So we've talked about diet. We've talked about movement. We've talked about emotions. These are the 3 pillars of maintaining a healthy internal environment. These are what prevent dampness from building up in the first place. Now let's bring it all together with a practical tool that many of my patients find helpful. This isn't a magic cure. It's not a prescription. It's a gentle, everyday support. Think of it as part of your toolkit, not the whole tool shed. I want to introduce you to a simple combination of 2 ingredients. One of them helps nourish and replenish the good fluids that your body needs. The other helps clear the stagnation and get things moving again. They work together. The first ingredient is called Ophiopagon. You might also see it labeled as Mai Men Dong in some stores. It's a small, fleshy root that's very moist and nourishing. Think of it as a natural hydrating agent for your lungs and stomach. It helps replenish that good, clean moisture that your throat is craving. It's gentle, it's not harsh, it doesn't shock your system, it just provides what's missing. The second ingredient is aged tangerine peel, Chen Pai. This is not the fresh orange peel you'd zest over a salad or use in a cocktail. This is peel that has been dried and aged for several years, sometimes 5, sometimes 10, sometimes even longer. The aging process transforms it completely. The harsh, sharp, rough edges fade away, and what's left is a warm, aromatic, deeply soothing ingredient. It has a rich, complex flavor. And it helps move stuck energy, it breaks up dampness, it clears a path so that the good fluids can flow freely. It's like a traffic controller for your internal highways. Now, here's the beauty of this combination. One is moist and nourishing, one is dry and moving. They seem like opposites. right? They do opposite things, but that's exactly why they work so well together. They balance each other, they complement each other. If you only use the moistening ingredient, you might add more fluid to an already clogged system. It would just pool and become more dampness. It would be like pouring more water into a clogged drain. It just makes the clog worse. If you only use the moving ingredient, you might stir things up without providing the nourishment that your throat and tissues need. You might clear the path but not bring in the good stuff. But together, they work beautifully. One opens the path, the other brings the good stuff through, one clears the clog, the other brings the clean water. It's like having a plumber and a landscaper working on your irrigation system at the same time. The plumber clears the blockage and the landscaper brings the water to the plants. Here's how to make it. Go to a reputable herb shop, either in person or online. Look for good quality Ophiopagon and aged tangerine peel. For the peel, make sure it's been aged for at least 3 years. The older, the better. It should be dark brown, almost black in some cases, and it should have a deep, rich, complex, almost earthy aroma, not the sharp, bright, citrusy smell of fresh orange peel. That's a completely different thing. The aged peel should smell like an old wooden cabinet, like aged whiskey, like time itself. Take about 10 grams of the Ophiopagon and about 3 grams of the aged peel. Put them in a thermos or a large mug or a glass jar. Pour in freshly boiled water, really hot. Just off the boil, cover it and let it steep for about 10 to 15 minutes. You want to give it time to extract all the goodness from those ingredients. When you drink it, you'll notice the flavor right away. It's warm, earthy, slightly sweet, with a subtle citrus undertone from the peel. It's not bitter, it's not harsh. It's pleasant and gentle, and the sensation, many of my patients tell me they feel a soothing effect in their throat immediately. It's not a dramatic, artificial, medicinal kind of relief. It's more like a gentle rain after a dry spell. It's calming, it's quieting, and at the same time, you'll feel a comfortable warmth in your stomach, not spicy, not harsh, just settled, calm, like your digestive system is saying, thank you for that. This combination is very gentle. It's not a strong medication. It's not a pharmaceutical. It's an everyday support. It's safe for most people. And it's especially helpful for those of you who have that mixed pattern. You feel dry and parched on the top, but heavy and sluggish on the bottom. That's the classic sign that dampness is blocking the flow of good fluids. Your top is thirsty, your bottom is waterlogged. This combination addresses both sides of that equation. Now, before I wrap up, I want to answer a question that a lot of my patients ask. It's a really smart question, and it gets to the heart of the whole approach. If the digestive system likes moisture, if it needs good fluids to function properly, why would we use something drying like aged peel to help it? Isn't that a contradiction? Don't we want to add moisture? This is a really important question, and it shows that you're thinking deeply about this. The digestive system does like moisture. It needs good, clean, nourishing fluid to function properly. That's the kind of moisture that hydrates your tissues, that helps your food move through your system, that keeps everything running smoothly. But what it doesn't like is stagnant, murky, waste-filled fluid. That is dampness. That kind of moisture is harmful. It's like the difference between a clear, flowing stream and a murky, mosquito-filled swamp. Both have water, both have moisture, but one is healthy and the other is not. One is life-giving and the other is disease-breeding. Using aged peel to clear dampness is not about drying out your digestive system. It's about removing the stagnant water so that the healthy fluids can circulate again. It's like digging a drainage ditch in a flooded field. You're not trying to turn the field into a desert. You're just removing the standing water so the soil can breathe, so the roots can get oxygen, so the plants can absorb the nutrients they need. The water is still there. It's just flowing properly now instead of sitting and stagnating. So the combination works in perfect harmony. Ophiopagon replenishes the good fluid. Aged peel removes the stagnant fluid and gets things moving again. They're partners, and here's another piece to this. The aged peel doesn't just remove dampness, it also moves stuck energy. Remember, your body runs on flow. When energy gets stuck, everything gets stuck. Blood, fluids, nutrients, waste, everything. The aged peel helps break up those blockages. It's like a traffic cop at a busy intersection. It clears the jam so everything can start moving again. This is especially helpful for people who deal with a lot of stress. Stress tends to cause stagnation. You might feel tightness in your chest, or a knot in your stomach, or a general sense of being blocked or stuck physically and emotionally. The aged peel helps unwind that tension. Many patients tell me that after drinking this tea, they feel a sense of release. That tight, anxious feeling in their chest starts to loosen. They can take a deeper breath. They feel lighter. Now, I also hear this question a lot. What about phlegm in the throat? That constant feeling like you have something stuck there that you can't cough out and you can't swallow down. It's like a lump that never goes away. This is another classic dampness related symptom. And here's the thing, that phlegm doesn't originate in your throat or your lungs. It originates in your digestive system. In traditional medicine, Thiers is saying the spleen is the source of phlegm, the lungs are just the storage tank. What that means is that your digestive system produces the raw material, the dampness, and it gets stored in your lungs and throat. Your throat and lungs are just the warehouse. The factory is in your digestive system. So if you just treat the throat, if you take over-the-counter cough syrups, if you use throat sprays, if you take expectorants, you're just emptying the storage tank. But if the source keeps producing phlegm, the tank will keep filling up. You have to go to the source. You have to clear the dampness in your digestive system. You have to shut down the factory. That's what this combination does. The aged peel addresses the source by reducing dampness and moving stuck energy in your digestive system. The Ophiopagon soothes and moistens the throat and lungs directly. One works on the factory, the other works on the warehouse. Together, they are much more effective than treating either one alone. You're cutting off the supply of phlegm while also soothing the symptoms. That's a much smarter approach. Now, I want to take a moment to address something that I think is really important. Some of you might be thinking, this is interesting, but why haven't I heard about this from my regular doctor? Why isn't this more mainstream? That's a fair question, and here's my honest answer. Western medicine is incredibly good at many things. It's phenomenal for acute infections, for trauma, for surgical emergencies, for diagnosing conditions. But sometimes when it comes to chronic, lingering, complex issues like this, issues that don't have a single clear cause, issues that are tied to lifestyle and diet and stress and habits, sometimes we need to look beyond the standard approach. That doesn't mean the standard approach is wrong. It just means it's incomplete. It's one piece of the puzzle. And when we combine the best of both worlds, the diagnostic precision of modern medicine with the holistic wisdom of traditional approaches, we often get better results for patients. I've seen it happen time and time again in my practice. That's the approach I use with my patients. I don't dismiss modern medicine. I use it. I prescribe medications when they're needed, but I also talk to my patients about their diet, their stress, their sleep, their movement, because all of those things matter. They're not separate from your health. They are your health. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today. Let's circle back to the bigger picture, the symptoms you're experiencing. The sticky mouth, the heavy body, the dry throat that won't quit, the hoarseness, the phlegm, the bloating, the fatigue, the brain fog, the lack of energy. All of these are not separate problems. They are all connected. They're like branches on the same tree, and they all point to one underlying issue. An internal environment that is damp, stagnant, and clogged, a swamp instead of a clear stream. And the good news is you have a lot of power to change that environment. You don't need expensive treatments or complicated protocols or exotic supplements. You don't need to travel to some faraway clinic. You just need to make some small, consistent daily changes. Small changes done consistently over time produce huge results. Start with your morning routine. Replace that iced coffee or cold smoothie with a warm, nourishing breakfast. Give your digestive system a gentle start instead of a shock. Give it warmth instead of cold. Get up and move every hour. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need expensive equipment. Just walk around the office, do some stretches, take the stairs instead of the elevator, park farther away from the store. Keep that internal flow going. Pay attention to your stress levels when you feel yourself getting anxious or overwhelmed. Take a pause, just a minute, breathe deeply, step away from your devices, let your mind rest. And if you're dealing with that classic dry on top, damp on bottom pattern, the dry throat with the heavy body, try that simple tea with Ophiopagon and aged peel. It's safe, it's gentle, and for many people, it makes a real noticeable difference over time, not overnight, but over time, week by week. But I want to be very clear about something. This is not a replacement for professional medical care. This tea is not a treatment for a disease. It's a supportive tool, a daily support, not a substitute for seeing a doctor if your symptoms are severe, if they're persistent, if they're getting worse. If you have other symptoms like fever, weight loss, difficulty swallowing, blood in your saliva, you need to see your doctor. You need a proper evaluation. There are many possible causes of chronic throat irritation and fatigue, acid reflux, allergies, thyroid issues, sleep apnea, postnasal drip, vocal cord problems, and others. Some of these are serious, some of them require specific treatment. The tea I described is a supportive tool, not a diagnostic tool. It is not a substitute for a thorough medical evaluation. Please don't put off seeing your doctor because you're trying a home remedy. Use the home remedy alongside your medical care, not instead of it. Your body is incredibly intelligent. It's constantly talking to you. That sticky feeling in the morning, that's a message. That heavy. Sluggish feeling, that's a message. That dry throat, that water won't fix, that's a message. That bloating after meals, that's a message. That's a message. That fatigue in the afternoon, that's a message. The question is, are you listening? When you pay attention to these signals and respond with intention, with small, consistent daily changes, you start to work with your body instead of against it. That's when healing really begins. That's when you start to feel better, not just for a day, but for good. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I know this was a long one, but I think this is important. I hope this information gives you a new perspective and some practical, actionable tools to try. You are not stuck. You have the power to make changes that support your health. One small step at a time. If you found this helpful, please share it with someone who might need it, a family member, a friend, a coworker. And if you're dealing with any health concerns, please schedule a visit with your primary care doctor. I'm here to help you understand the science, not replace professional medical advice. Take care of yourself, drink something warm in the morning, move your body during the day, breathe deeply when you feel stressed, and I'll see you in the next video.